Welcome to AK Lighting. Today we're going to be taking a look at a gemstone light install that we did. And the customer that we were working with said he was very, very excited for us to install his lights, as it had been something that he'd been looking forward to for quite some time. Usually when we get to a location, we like to get our supplies ready and decide where we're putting the transformer. Normally, with transformers, we put them in the garage and we like to go up into the attic where possible. However, for this house, we had to drill a hole through the outside wall of the garage and cover it up with this nice metal track. With our lights themselves, we have strips of bulbs that we pop into the tracks, and each of the bulbs has RGBW capabilities, so you can have a range of colors with different shades of white lights as well. Some particular favorites for customers are bright white and warm white, which allows for softer or sharper colors on the house. This house was pretty nice for us to work with, as there were plenty of places for us to have our ladders on the side of the house. Anytime we're installing these lights, we do make custom cuts in order to shape the lighting to whatever the customer desires, which includes cutting for small little creases on houses. For every house that we work with, we always end up, for each of the houses that we do installations on, we measure out the track and the lights that we're going to be installing and make cuts in order to work around anything that might be on the house itself. This particular house, there were a lot of these small little creases that you see here, and the way that we work around that is we will end up just cutting a little notch, which works pretty well in order to make sure that the lighting is flush with the soffit. And that's something that we are always looking to do as we go throughout our installation. And again, on this particular house, there weren't too many things that were in the way for us to install it. However, there was one small area that was a little challenging, as there were a couple overhangs, and as you can see, we were on a ladder in order to be able to access it. So we were on the roof with another ladder, but ended up looking pretty good as we went through the house. This house had 2 stories for lighting, and as you can see, each level had its own lights that we were installing, and as we go about the installation, we try and keep it as continuous as possible in order to be able to light up the majority of the house. And the wire itself is something that we need to cover up, and we use a little plastic sleeve that covers it. And the customer said that he was trying to find where the wire was on the top of the house where we were working, and it ended up working out pretty well for us to cover it up. We have these little metal tracks. We have different colors to work with, and we covered it up similarly to the garage. It ended up looking pretty nice in the end. Honestly, I'm just pretty excited to be able to see what this house would look like at night, because with how level most of these tracks are, it makes for a very good effect anytime that the lights are animated, which is something that a lot of customers are very, very excited for. At this point in time, there really wasn't too much left for us to do. And here you see that we're just getting the last few tracks that are above the garage and getting ever closer to being done with this installation. And with it being close to the end, there were just a few more cuts left for us to do. As you can see, the tracks themselves are pretty thin, which allows for them to be a lot more flush with each other as we're installing them. And also, they're just easier to work with because they're lighter. Sometimes a concern that we get from customers is that there's a bird's nest, and typically we'll just route our wires around them and leave them up. And with some of these final screws being put in place, one of the last things that we always do is make sure that the lights are getting power, and you can see here that they definitely are, and I think that they look pretty dang good. All in all, this was a very fun installation to do, and we think that it'll end up looking very, very nice. And if you'd like these lights installed on your house, just look in the description. We'll have a link to our website and our phone number so you can give us a call. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.